Hello, welcome to this video for Asia. Let's see what's kind of going on here in parts of Asia. So, first things first, let's see what's happening to India here with the monsoon and everything. So this is currently, we have a lot of rain on the west coast there from the monsoon. Lots of these thunderstorms and rain parts of central India as well, and further north. Some rain in Nepal too, in some other areas. So what's expected here? So as rain of accumulation in the next 12 hours, as of June 26, and I'm recording this from the Western Hemisphere, so it must be already June 27 in India. So in the next 12 hours, it shows more for the west coast there, some more in parts of the east and the north, especially the Euro showing this area in Nepal there with more than 100 millimeters in the next 12 hours. So that's about 117 there. So let's see, in the next 24 hours until June 28th. So it shows more in parts of central India, some more in Nepal, and more in the west coast here and southwestern Sri Lanka there. The next 3 days it shows a lot more for the coasts of western India there, especially in these areas here in the central western coast. So let's see. Further north, a little bit more in these areas here, up to 200 millimeters. Yeah, in some areas 179, 150. But we also have this other area here, kind of east central India, that has more than 100 millimeters. And in some areas of this lighter pink here, we have up to 244 millimeters there in some of these areas. So let's zoom further. 245, 207 millimeters just in the next 3 days in that area of east central India. In other areas of central India a little bit more. Nepal somewhat more in the next 3 days, especially in southwestern Nepal there. And let's see in the next 5 days. So for the next 5 days it shows more for the coasts of India, 273, 302, 237, 211, 208, and that 300 there, 273, 257, 260. So a lot of rain continuing there. And let's see if there's any changes here. Not much. All of this will be between the next 24 hours and 3 days, like in the next 2 days and between 1 and 3 days. So, but some areas increased a little bit, like 271, 211, 240. So be aware in that area there of India. Let's see. In the next 10 days, let's not talk about that. It's too far out. But if you put 10 days here, it shows a lot more for many areas, but that's too far out. Let's see. So let's see another model here, the GFS in the next 5 days. So the GFS is kind of different. It has less in east central India, but it has this spot here with more, up to 145 millimeters there. And further north in northern India, it has this spot here with a lot, up to 268, 281 millimeters in this, around the cities here in northern India. And then it has some more there in western India, and I'm forgetting about northeastern India, but we'll talk about northeastern India there when I go towards Bangladesh. So let's see here for western India, shows a lot for that area there, and in the west coasts here it shows around 200, 100 millimeters in these areas here. So be aware that we have also here the excess model only for southern India. I think this is kind of more higher resolution or something. So the next 24 hours looks like this, and just in the next 3 days it's showing like, I don't know what this model is doing, but it's showing like this hot spot, like one hot spot there and another area there with 400 millimeters, must be 400 there as well, another hot spot there, hot spot, another hot spot there. So this model is doing some strange stuff. It shows like 500 millimeters in that area there. That's really crazy, but you never know. But this model is doing some strange stuff. In the next 5 days, it shows still like 400 millimeters up to 500 in those pinkish, in those light pink areas, and in the dark pink areas just like 200, 300. But yeah, just to show you as well, let's see. We have the icon model 2. The icon's a little bit less, it's kind of calm. It has like 100, it has most of 100 millimeters along the west coast there. Maybe 200 in a spot or two, but mainly 100 millimeters there. So for Mumbai has 118. And this spot here in far northwestern India, we will get a lot of rain too. So be aware there. Let's see. For northern India, the icon has like scattered 100, 200 there, and has this specific spot here with like almost 300 in some of these areas. So let's see. Here too in eastern India, some more. This is mainly it. Let's see the rainfall map from the Euro here to see what might happen. So you have the day below here. As you go through Thursday, more rains across northwestern India, central India, and the continuous rains there in the west coast of India. It shows more storms tomorrow in north central India. Friday, more storms there in some areas. Saturday, some more storms. And take a look at Nepal too, because it's showing some really strong storms there as well, like on Friday, Saturday, and also Sunday too. So by Monday, still some storms in India there. In the west coast will be a little less rain in the next week, but still some rain, but not as much as this week. There'll be more stuff like in northern India through middle next week, and more stuff. So let's see here the rest of Southeast Asia. So let's see just 3 days and 5 days here. So in the next 3 days for Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, it's generally fine. It shows some spots with more rain here, like in northern Vietnam and northwestern Laos, but nothing very big. But it shows like some spots up to 70 millimeters. So let's see. And it has more for Myanmar here, especially these areas in pink up to 112 and more stuff. So let's see. Further down in Thailand, some in Cambodia, especially like northeastern Cambodia. Vietnam, a little bit more rain too. And the scale is down here like 20 millimeters, 40, or 1 meter, 10, 5. So yeah, let's see. In the next 5 days. So in the next 5 days, it slightly increases for those areas of Laos and northern Thailand, but not much. Also there for northeastern Cambodia, it increased a little bit, up to 95, up to 100 millimeters there. And southern Vietnam a little bit more. Let's see, especially for Myanmar here, it has more for these areas up to 136, 137 there. And let's see further south here, because we have Malaysia too, around the 30s and 40s millimeters. For further south, let's see, southern Thailand, it's quite well in the next 5 days, it's okay. 4 is for Indonesia, here too it's doing fine, except for parts of Malaysia. Here in this island it shows like up to 91 millimeters in those areas there in the next 5 days. And let's see, it's doing good. Just some more rain in eastern Indonesia here, especially Guinea here. It shows up to 137 millimeters in parts of western Guinea here. So be aware that. Let's see, some more here in Java, a little bit more in those areas, but it's generally fine. Let's see now this big hotspot in northern Bangladesh, northern Myanmar, and northeast India, and southern China. So this area keeps getting a lot of rain. So let's see for these areas of northern Myanmar here. There's some areas up to 100 millimeters, like northwestern Myanmar, still here, and especially for northernmost Myanmar here, like the northernmost portion, it has up to 137, 136, 129 millimeters, 140 millimeters. This is in the next 3 days, I'm seeing only. And then it has some spots up here up to 158, and this very light pink is up to 305 millimeters in some of these areas here. I don't think there are any big seas here, but like this closest sea will be like 239 millimeters, and some other areas there of southern China too. So let's see here. So this is northeastern India, I think, yes. It shows more for some specific areas like 113, some 84 millimeters. Further north, like northeasternmost India, it has these areas like here, up to 157 millimeters, 151 millimeters. And I'm not sure where this ends here, but we have the junction with southern China here too, and for this area southern China showing 243 millimeters, and maybe 300 in a spot or two of those areas. So let's see, between northern India and Bangladesh it shows more than 100 there, in northeastern Bangladesh especially, northern Bangladesh some more, and even the coast here it shows like 47, 50 millimeters, 42 millimeters in parts of Bangladesh. This area here of India is quite good, but this corridor here of northeastern India might get more rain. And let's see here, this was 3 days, now let's see next 5 days. So look the change, 3 days, 5 days. So let's see for northern Myanmar here in the next 5 days. It shows a lot there for DC. It's like 196, 203, 200, 317, 355, 315 millimeters. And some spots here it shows up to 444 millimeters, for 430, 435 in these areas here. I think this is Myanmar still, yes, this is still northern Myanmar here. It shows like 340, 355. Let's see, especially here in these areas like 443 in some of these areas of northern Myanmar. And there's here northeasternmost India, because I think the border with China's like right here. So for northeasternmost India, they have these areas like almost 500 millimeters there. So it shows like 499 millimeters for that town of Tezu, 357 there, 298, 390 there, to 353, especially here in these highland areas. It shows like 479, 494, 485 millimeters, 509 millimeters. So a lot of rain in these areas in the next 5 days. So please be careful there. with heavy rain, flash flooding, thunderstorms, and etc. So let's see. Yes, for parts of southern China here, a lot still, like 200, 300, especially together with Myanmar here. Might get some more near the border with Myanmar, more than 200 millimeters. These areas here, and Bhutan too will be quite active, especially southern Bhutan and eastern Bhutan. Northwestern Bhutan, not much, like only 70, 60 millimeters there. But southwestern Bhutan will be like 308 millimeters, 301, 310 millimeters, so a lot in some areas of southern Bhutan. Nepal also, a lot of rain there in the next 5 days. Let's see the bigger picture here. So southern China there, Myanmar, you can see where the hotspots are in India there, and Myanmar in China. So let's see these areas of northwestern Myanmar might get up to 187 millimeters in some spots too. So be aware. In northern Bangladesh, between India and Bangladesh, shows like more than 300 too. Especially northern Bangladesh there, be aware. Other areas of extreme southern Bangladesh might get more. And in general there, more northernmost Bangladesh and some areas there too. So let's see here. The rain map if you want for the next few days, and then we'll show you some other models. So we have Thursday here, Friday, all the rain and storms there. Friday, all those heavy rains there. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the rest is kind of far out. So let's see. The rain accumulation next 5 days from the GFS now. So now from the GFS for these areas, shows a lot for northern Myanmar too and northwestern Myanmar there. Like it shows more for Bangladesh, around 138, 140 for many areas, 229 for northeastern Bangladesh, and especially northern Myanmar here shows like 247, maybe 300 in a spot or two. And then northeasternmost India has less than the euro. It has only 273. The euro had 500, but this is possible too. So let's see. For basically all of northeastern India, it has more than 100 millimeters in most areas, except the green areas are like 90 or 70 millimeters, but it has a lot of rain for all of northeastern India in general. And southern Bhutan, just like I showed you, shows more than 200 millimeters there. And let's see here what other model. There's just the icon here now. The icon is kind of like the euro. It has a lot in many spots, so it has up to 356 in parts of northeastern India. It is like northeastern India in the border with Bangladesh. So northern Bangladesh 250, 214 millimeters, and northeasternmost India it has like 400 millimeters in southern Bhutan, and northeasternmost India like 419 millimeters in these areas there. So be aware in southern Bhutan, all the models are showing a lot of rain. These areas of northeasternmost India too, like 200, 300 there. These areas, I think this is already China, like northeastern India in the border with China there. It shows around 529 millimeters around those mountains and valleys, 502, 490 millimeters. And for Tezu here, it shows only 416, a little bit less than the euro, but it's okay. Let's see, 502 for these other areas here near the border with China. So just a lot of rain for those areas. And for northern Myanmar, the icon is even more crazy. Look, just in the next 5 days, the icon is showing like 600 millimeters in some areas of northern Myanmar. So there's a lot of different model opinions, because like the GFS is showing less, the Euro is showing halfway, and the icon is showing like 640 millimeters in one of those cities there in northern Myanmar. Oh, all of these places are called landmark. I think these are landmarks of the country. So it shows up to 600, 500 millimeters in those other cities down here. All of this very light pink is more than 400 millimeters. So for there too. So the icon is really crazy for northern Myanmar. It shows more here, 477. Northernmost Myanmar is a little bit better, but further south these areas up to 300 and 200, and the border with China too is really busy. Look, 100, 200, so be aware there. So let's see here for China and Japan now. This video is getting really long, but I need to show you everything. So we are back to the euro now, and it shows still a lot of rain for those areas of China there, especially like central eastern China there. It shows a lot of rain. Let's zoom to some of the spots. It shows like 200, 199, 231 millimeters for many of the cities, and even this lighter pinker spot, 310 even. And further north here, it has many areas like 230, 277, 209 millimeters. A lot of rain there for China. Let's see further north here. More, this is the next 5 days. So let's see. Some areas with 70 millimeters, 90. Southeastern China here might get some. Hong Kong at 39 millimeters. Shenyang around 70 millimeters. And some other areas there. And there's this spot in like southeastern China that shows like 231, almost 300 millimeters there. And more. Let's see. For western China it's kind of better. Northwestern China it's good because there's a desert there, of course. But southwestern China there's a little bit more rain in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan the next 5 days, but not anything crazy, but some more rain there. And let's see the difference between 3 days and 5 days. Okay, so northern Pakistan might get a little bit more rain too, and Mongolia here might get some more scattered rains, 3 days, 5 days, and especially these areas here in northeastern Mongolia together with southern Russia. So next 24 hours, next 3 days, and next 5 days. So be aware. We'll talk about Russia in a second. Let's see. For Korea here and Japan, it has more rain for North Korea. Those pink spots are around 100 millimeters. And let's see, some areas here of North Korea around 100 too. South Korea is a little bit better. Just in the southernmost areas here, a little bit more, but it's generally good. Japan is kind of crazy. The islands are better, but these southern areas of Japan might get more than 200 millimeters. Some areas 223, 150, 140. So a lot of rain there for Japan still. And around these other islands here, 147, 145 millimeters. For some central areas here too, around 130, 135. And for Tokyo it's just showing 43 millimeters. But and there's this area in northernmost Japan here, it's showing like more than 146 millimeters in parts of northern Japan there. So be aware there too. Now let's show you the comparison between 3 days for China and Japan and 5 days. So this is the difference. Practically everything that will come for the Koreas will be between the next 3 and 5 days there for the Koreas and for northern Japan as well. So let's see here what we got. So let's see the rainfall map here, and it shows like currently on Wednesday shows that low pressure there near the coast of China, and already a lot of rain in parts of southern Japan. And then it shows all these heavy rain and storms in central eastern China. The days are here below. And then it shows this low pressure spinning there, going towards southern Japan. And by tomorrow, Thursday, a lot of heavy rain there in southern Japan. By Thursday night, like into Friday, right? It shows a lot of heavy rain for all those areas of south central Japan. And by Friday, going to central Japan, there a lot of heavy rain. Friday, and then this system moves out to the ocean, but we start getting this new system forming in China there. So you can see there on Thursday, alright, a lot of storms there in China. Then it starts forming up there. Friday, more storms in those areas of China. Saturday, this system starts forming a lot of storms in China, and the low pressure affects with a lot of heavy rain parts of northeastern China there, and goes towards North Korea with all that heavy rain in North Korea by Saturday, and more storms in China there by Saturday, and rain affecting South Korea too. This affects northern China, parts of southern Russia too, and South Korea, and then this heads out towards northern Japan. That the Euro showing all that heavy rain there for Sunday in northern Japan, and all throughout Japan there might be a lot of rain between Sunday and Monday there. So then this moves out and it shows another system for South Korea there between next Monday and Tuesday, more rain there. Then it affects Japan again by next Wednesday. So more there by next Wednesday, shows more rain on Thursday for Japan, and then it shows this big front for China there between the next Thursday and Friday, affecting southern Russia and Mongolia too by next Friday. So, but that's kind of far out. So let's see here what else we have. The rain accumulation from the GFS shows a lot for southern Japan there too, the next 5 days, and a lot for those areas of China as well, but not much for northern Japan like the Euro showed. So let's see the icon here. The icon also shows a lot for China there in all those areas, going through the Koreas, and a lot for Japan, just like the Euro there too, but it doesn't show practically anything for northwestern Japan. That's weird, but it shows more for southeastern Russia there. And there's this other model here. I think it's only for Japan, but it's showing the next 3 days a lot in Japan there. And let's see, especially southern Japan, it's showing like maybe 300 millimeters in a point or two there. But yeah, that's another interesting model. And then this is the Euro again. So let's see here. The snow shows more snow in parts of Tibet and those areas there of Tajikistan and China in the mountains. Some more snow in parts of Russia there it shows, but even there too, but nothing crazy. In the Caucasus mountains, some more snow too. And let's see. So some wind gusts. Stronger winds in the Arabian Sea and Somalia there because of the monsoon and everything. Even for India sometimes. Mongolia it shows maybe some gustier winds. By Japan as well. Some stronger winds in parts of Japan there. By Friday, some stronger winds in the Bay of Bengal, especially in China there, going into the Koreas with that system a lot of stronger winds there. Might get some gale warnings and stuff. And then between next Sunday and Monday, the strong winds go towards Japan there, and then we might get more strong winds next week because of the other systems. So let's see here what else we have. So I think the temperature is something important. So let's see what's the hottest time of the day here. So here I think so. For India it's showing better. For northwestern India it's around the 30s, the high 30s, but for Pakistan it's still around the 40s there. But there's this area in Iran here, it's showing like 48 Celsius. You can see up there 47, 48 Celsius. Very hot in those areas. For parts of the Middle East, 48, 2, 46, 47. In many areas of Iraq there, and Iran too. For Saudi Arabia and Oman, it shows 48 still, 47, 45. A lot of heat. For this area here of the basin, it shows for 45 even, 38, 40. In these other areas of Kazakhstan, shows very hot, like 42, 37, 38 Uzbekistan, 42 Turkmenistan, 43 Tajikistan even, and more areas. So very hot. Into the 20s there, and maybe 30 parts of China and Russia, Southeast Asia into the 20s and 30s, and India here into the 30s. So I guess it's fine. Let's see the next few days. So pay attention on the Middle East, in Kazakhstan, in parts of Pakistan there, in those areas. Still very hot in parts of Iran, those areas of China, Kazakhstan. This is by Saturday or Sunday. Let's see, by next Sunday shows still into the 48, 46 or 47 in parts of the Middle East. Next Monday still very hot. Next Tuesday still shows very hot there. A little bit less hot in Kazakhstan, but still hot in the southwestern areas. But let's see, and then by next Wednesday it shows more hot by parts of eastern Russia, northern China. So this must be like a new heat wave or something. It shows around the 30, 35 for Shanghai, 33 shows very much hotter there. And even for Russia here it's showing like 31, 34. This is by next Wednesday, so you'll be hotter in those areas. Even southeastern India, and more areas too. But it's already far out. So this video is already gigantic. Let's see if there's something else to talk about, or if it's good. These are the warnings here. They change every day and every hour, but I can show you some stuff. Some fire danger and high temperature in Kazakhstan, maybe thunderstorm warnings too. In Russia, scared thunderstorm and high temperature advisories. In Japan, lots of warnings for rain there. Flood advisories, maybe rain, thunderstorm advisories. Russia, some stuff too. China, they always have 1,000 warnings, especially for the storms there and everything. This is for Thailand. They have some rain and thunderstorm advisories there for Thailand. So be aware. And for India too, they have some thunderstorm advisories in many areas, especially the rain warnings for western India. And we might get some for northeastern India too because of all that rain. And for Russia here, it shows more rain accumulation the next 5 days. For these areas of central Russia here, like near Kazakhstan there, going all the way from the Caspian Sea through Kazakhstan and more parts of Russia there. Let's see, like 133 millimeters in some of the pink areas. Some areas here too around 110 millimeters, and further north here more rain, and this might be snow too because it will be too far north in some other areas too, and be aware of this rain there. And yeah, so stay safe and